So welcome to my office. It's Monday morning. We just had some market moves. I'm going to update you on a couple of things, including natural gas as always. I just have to tell you, the life of a trader is not always as glamorous as it might seem. And I'm sure many of you have spent hours sitting alone in your offices, contemplating the meaning of life, why you ever got into this sort of thing. And, just countless hours watching the charts, hoping and praying for something to happen, which often doesn't happen according to the way you want it. And there's a lot of stress involved. But at the same time, it offers you a lot of freedom and ability to do things that you wouldn't otherwise be able to do. The important thing is to be able to cope with emotional stress and pressure and to be able to manage your emotions, really, as I'm just repeating myself. But that's what trading is all about very often, is emotional control and rational thinking. So if you've ever been in a situation where you're stressed out and you're finding it very difficult to make sense of the charts, I know where you've been. Often you'll just be in a little room by yourself, like I am. So this is my room. It's kind of small. I've got a bed there as well in case I need to lie down. And I lie down on my tummy and I put the computer on the thing and I listen to some music and I just maybe have a snooze if I've been up late and that sort of thing. So this is my office. I want to have a look at a couple of things on the chart. So let's see what's going on. I'm going to see if I can switch this across to change direction of the camera, and I can't. So I'm going to do it manually. And I've got 3 computers there, and over here I've got my tweet deck. So I've showed you this before. So Forex Live is kind of just Forex news as it comes out. Reuters Business and Financial Times, that's really good. Investing.com is pretty good as well. US stock futures edge low. So you just get the headlines from these. Walter Vanelli, my perma bear on the euro. I follow that for a little bit of fun. And then Zero Hedge, a little bit sort of, I suppose, right leaning, but that's okay. I don't mind that. But lots of interesting articles that you won't see elsewhere. Then over here, I've got the economic news. So just keep this open, really. So for example, European PMI numbers have just come out. They were not very good for Europe, as you can tell. The market's dropped as a result of that. And if you go across and have a look at here, you can see the result. I'm trading the yen mostly at the moment. Euro against the yen, big drop. This is a daily chart. Pound against the yen down. CAD not so much. And then Swiss against the yen down. And Aussie. So the European pairs, Euro, Pound and Swiss all down. Poor manufacturing news, PMI is all down in Germany and in France. And then a little bit later on, we've got a couple other things, not much today. A bit later on, in 25 minutes actually, we've got the Pound S&P Global SIPS manufacturing PMI, some more production news, and expected to be bad all around. Actually, we're seeing terrible production numbers in the US, in Europe, in China, everywhere you look. And that's often the portend or the forerunner, front runner signal that there's an economic downturn on the way. But let's have a look at what we're trading. So Euro, we're actually long on the Euro and that's dropped off a bit. So let's see how that goes. But that's okay. I'm allowing for support actually right where we are at the moment on the Euro. And then the Pound, we're also long on the Pound moving into support. There's some reasons for all of that. And then Euro Yen, we're short. So that's looking good. And Dollar Yen, we're short and that's looking pretty good. But I'm not trading much on the Euro and the Pound, just very small amounts on those two. And then the Yen pairs is where I'm at. So we're trading Dollar Yen short, and that's just coming off a wee bit. Euro Yen short, that's coming off quite a lot. This is a day chart. So we've dropped from 158 to 156.70. 130 pips down already on Euro Yen. We're short right from near the top there. Pound Yen, same sort of thing, not as much. More dramatic. You can see the Euro is dropping off against the dollar and the Yen. And then CAD Yen, we're short. And Swiss Yen, also coming off from 164 to 163. So that's dropped quite a lot, and we're short on those. NASDAQ and S&P, we're short. I expect a little retracement on NASDAQ, probably. Let me see if I can use my finger. You can see that's where we are at the moment, pre-market open. I think we can get back up to the top of Friday's candle, whatever that number is there, up to the top of last candle. Perhaps a touch higher, actually. I wouldn't be surprised if we just, you can have a look in your charts what that level is. Same thing on S&P. Friday's candle, I think we could just touch the top of that, maybe a fraction higher. And then we're short on a lot of these names, and you can see in pre-market, they're just rallying a little bit. So reflecting what we're seeing on NASDAQ and S&P, just bouncing up a little bit. I want to get more short on Apple and Nvidia, but I'd like to see a decent bounce. Nvidia, I think we can get up to 460, maybe right up to the top of yesterday's candle, Friday's candle, and then Apple. I I think we can get to at least the underside of this trend line and then back up again. Microsoft probably up to the top of that candle at about 350, at 346. In fact, we might get up slightly higher to the top of there. And then there are others like Microsoft and Google and that sort of thing, which I haven't got on the charts, but Microsoft, not Microsoft, Tesla looks good. And then metals, gold. Well, we're long on gold from down here somewhere. We're up there, pulled back just to that support and quite constructive today. Silver, we don't have any trades on, but if we can get a pullback into maybe $24, perhaps even $23.70, $23.80, be a good place to buy silver. Copper, well, Dr. Copper depends on the economies of countries, really. And copper used electrical stuff and building and all sorts of industrial electrical type uses and building uses. And if that falls off a cliff, which it is, building generally is not looking good, and nor is industry, as we saw from those PMI numbers. In URA, uranium, well, we're already long. There's quite a good position long on URA. If we can hold above that pink level, that'd be great. But overall, I think that's looking very bullish, constructive on the charts. And then platinum, I have a small long position on platinum as well. And that's that. And then the one that everyone loves to trade, natural gas. We're long on natural gas, nothing since Friday. So they're the last 2 4-hour candles. The one that we're in now, that one, we're up to 270 again. Now we just dipped down on the last candle, actually those three candles. The first big bearish candle there was after the weekend rollover. Then we had a little hesitation, full stop at the 20-period moving average, moving back up again. We're still long there, long from $2.51 right down there. So we're right up here now. Only half position on that one, unfortunately, but that's okay. We're trading that a little bit cautiously, not knowing what's going on. And then WTI. So a lot of gas and oil will be related to economic conditions and geopolitical conditions and manipulation by various players in the market, suppliers and countries. And at the moment, we've got 2 opposing forces. And then we've got weather to be thrown in for actually oil and gas, but mostly gas. But we've got 2 opposing problems. We've got geopolitics on the one side, supporting gas and oil prices, and we've got economic downturn depressing both oil and gas. And those 2 opposing forces are directly head to head at the moment. We'll see who wins. I think we're going to be stuck on oil between $80.75 and $65 for quite a period of time. And actually, there's going to be quite a lot of downward pressure if we see a big economic downturn. And gas, well, we've got a very hot summer going on, record temperatures in Europe and Britain and across the US. On top of that, we've got the Russia-Ukraine situation going on, and we've got a drop in the number of rigs as well. So that will all be sort of bullish for natural gas. But then we've got the economic downturn, and people basically turn off their heaters when they haven't got money, and industry stops using gas when they're not producing. Soya we're looking to sell into, just not yet. And sugar, well, we need to get to the top of that gap there, top of that green line, the 78.6% Fibonacci, and close that gap. We've closed 1, 2, there's one more to go. When we close that gap, we'll be selling sugar. And that's all of that. And the only other thing we've got on is US dollar, South African Rand, and we're long from near the bottom there. And there's a long story behind this. The main story here is that South Africa's economy is collapsing, and so is its power grid. And so whenever you get a chance to buy this pair, that's the dollar against the Rand. In other words, sell the South African Rand. It's a good idea. And pound Rand, we're not in that yet because I've got a healthy position on dollar Rand. But if I could split it really, it wouldn't make any difference, much difference. So we could be half in dollar Rand, half in pound Rand. But as it stands, I'm in dollar Rand, not pound Rand. But we could trade both of them. Actually, it would make sense to switch a little bit of a cross to the pound Rand pair, because I expect the pound to strengthen against the dollar, and this pair should do a bit better. Well, there we go. That's all that. So those are the charts, economic news, and what else have we got going on? So we've just had the GBP, S&P, Global SIPS Manufacturing PMI. Should have come out. Oh, it's in 18 minutes time. And then my tweet deck and my desk and my cat. And today I've even got a heater. So, oh, and by the way, for those of you who are wondering about my rug, I've got a beautiful woolen rug in my office now, which I'm really pleased with. It's quite a small room, really. But I like it. It's cozy. There's a degree of mine, one of my 3 degrees on the wall from, I think, 1986, Bachelor of Science. Can you believe that? That's a long time ago. Some of you, a lot of you, weren't even born by then. So I hope you enjoyed that brief update, and that's it. So trading is kind of like this. You get locked in a room sometimes and you're stuck there by yourself. No one really understands what you're doing. And sometimes it's wonderful. Sometimes it's a peaceful, happy place. Sometimes it's really stressful. But I think we all love it for different reasons. And I know that when I walk out of the door of this office onto that balcony you saw in yesterday's video, which you can have a look at, I'll be looking over the sea and enjoying a beautiful view of the beachfront. So I could just do that right now, anytime I want, which is amazing. Have a fantastic trading day. If you enjoyed this sort of silly content, it's fine. If you didn't, that's also fine. But please give the video a like and consider subscribing to this channel if you like this sort of thing. And I'll see you in the next one.